What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a late Face the Heels. My name's Ben Cornett. This is episode 23. I do apologize for being a little late there. I was actually watching wrestling. Shocker. They had TV and LA Knight was on there. So, whenever you see LA Knight, you got to watch, right? Yeah. So, yeah. So that's why I'm about 10 minutes late. And again, my apologies for that. But I'm here and welcome. So tonight we're going to discuss the fallout of SummerSlam. As you know, we had a big event this past weekend. We'll also talk about and we're back. Sorry about that. It's little technical difficulties, I guess. Yep. So we should be good to go right now. Great. I was late, and then now little technical difficulties there. That's what happens when you're live. So anyway, yeah. As I was saying, let's tonight we're going to talk about the SummerSlam fallout. Also talk about what's going on Raw tonight. It's been an interesting show. Usually, I don't watch too much Raw, but I thought tonight I wanted to see kind of what happened from the fallout at SummerSlam. Obviously, we'll get into that in a minute, but right now, let's talk about the fallout from SummerSlam. As you know, it's quite a show. I thought it was pretty good. Was it the best SummerSlam I've ever seen? Excuse me, no, but I would say it's one of the better ones I've seen. I thought pretty much every match was really good. A couple were so, but we'll get into it. The first match of the night was Logan Paul against Ricochet. Logan Paul wins with the help from the Brass Knuckles, and I picked Logan to win this match. I thought the heel can get a win here. Logan Paul's an attraction, and you want to treat him like an attraction, but at the same time, it'd be nice to get some wins here. He couldn't get a win at WrestleMania against Seth Rollins. He lost to Roman Reigns, obviously, so it's good to see him get a win there. Ricochet is a very good performer, so he definitely helped out Logan Paul throughout the match. Both guys have great chemistry. They, as far as wrestling moves go, timing and everything, they worked really well together. So, I don't know how long. I don't know if this is going to continue, but like I said, Logan Paul's an attraction, so they probably will end this feud, and then Logan Paul will move on to the next one. As for Ricochet, who knows? I mean, maybe he can get back in the Intercontinental title picture. I don't know, but I kind of see Ricochet maybe going down the card a little bit. He's a great, talented wrestler. I've seen him for the last 15 years, wrestle on the indies and then eventually get to NXT and then WWE. Not the best on the mic, but certainly very talented. I don't know where he goes from here. Like I said, Logan Paul's an attraction, so he'll be back, probably feuding with another person. But for Ricochet, I'm not sure where he goes after this. So it'll be interesting to see where his trajectory ends up. So Logan Paul wins that match. The next match we had was the Cody and Brock. Cody Rhodes against Brock Lesnar. I thought this was a really good match. I thought the storytelling in this match was very good. They had Brock beating up Cody throughout the match, throwing him out of the ring, trying to get a count out like 3 different times, but Cody was able to make it back into the ring before the 10 count. Typical underdog babyface. And ultimately, you know, Cody makes the comeback. Brock feeds the comeback, and um, Brock tried a couple F5s on him, didn't work. And Cody earlier in the match took off the turnbuckle and exposed the skill that holds the turnbuckle. And a few minutes later, he rammed Lesnar into it, and he was able to do a couple of crossroads to finish him off for the 1-2-3. And Cody wins this match and pretty much the rubber match and the rivalry. And I'm glad it's over. I think it's time to move on. This was a good feud for several months, but for Cody, I think he needs to move on to bigger and better things. Brock Lesnar, after the match, did come back and shake Cody's hand. That was actually not scripted. Brock did that on his own, so that was not written into the storylines. Little kayfabe for you. Shook Cody's hand, and that was it. Gave him the respect that, you know, Cody deserves. For Brock Lesnar, probably be out for a little while, and then, like, you know, he's an attraction at this point. You know, he can do whatever he wants. He's done it all. He's been WWE champion numerous times. He's had a hell of a career. So, you know, for Brock, this is take a break time, and then as soon as there's another big feud on the horizon, he'll show back up. So, yeah. And as far as Cody goes, then we'll get into the Raw stuff in a little bit, but we got to see what he does next. It's a little tricky because we're only in August right now, and I think we all know, if you've been following WWE long enough, you know that the plan most likely is for him to eventually go up against Roman Reigns, finally defeat him at next year's WrestleMania in Philadelphia, WrestleMania 40. But we're like 7 months away still, so you know it's going to be a little hard to keep Cody hot with this momentum. Just depends who he's going to face and how long you can go with it. So I'm interested to see what they do, and you know how they can just keep continuing to build this story with Cody, the underdog, the trying to ultimately climb that top of that mountain, finally win that world title his dad Dusty couldn't do. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. The Battle Royal, the Slim Jim Battle Royal, LA Knight, he ended up winning it. And that's good. I like that decision. LA Knight just on a roll right now, just white hot. The fans love him. He's getting the loudest pops. You know, I think Cody and LA Knight are the top two baby faces, I would say. And it's interesting that they put LA Knight on Raw tonight, you know, but he's got the momentum. So, you know, why not use him every week? You know, whatever you can do. I mean, normally I'm against, you know, wrestlers who are on one show to go on another show. I don't like that crossover too much, but I'm okay with this tonight. You know, him and The Miz just did a little segment there, Miz TV. I know I'm talking about Raw right now. Should be talking about SummerSlam, but I'm just saying that LA Knight has that momentum right now, you know, so why not build on it and just go from there? So, but yeah, this is the right call. He ended up eliminating Sheamus. They were the final two. Eliminated The Miz. They had, you know, Gable and Otis, Escobar, some other wrestlers that were in there, like Imperium. So it was for both brands, their wrestlers were on that. Good for them. I'm glad that they were able to get on the card. So, and LA Knight, he prevails in that. Right call again. You know, give him a signature win, even though it's a battle royal. I get it, you know, but still, it's a big deal, and it just elevates LA Knight even further. So, yeah, good things are on the horizon for him, especially if he keeps up this momentum, you know, with the crowd. Next match, let's talk about. This is one that I just had no interest in, and I'm sorry if unless you're a Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey fan, I had no interest in this match. I don't even know why it was on the card. You bumped Becky and Trish off of SummerSlam. I think that was a mistake, and I would have took this one off SummerSlam instead. Now I get it. This is probably Ronda's last match with WWE. There's plans for her to retire and move on to family life. I mentioned that on the pre-show Saturday that's what the plans were for Ronda. This would be her last match, possibly. I get it, but it just, and even the match just didn't feel, special to me. It was the MMA rules type match, but MMA rules in a wrestling match, in a what we call a scripted wrestling match. I don't know. I just usually those things don't work out, but Shayna won the match with a sleeper hold, put Ronda to sleep, and that was it. So, good for Shayna. It's a good win for her. And again, good for them for being on the card and everything, but I just felt Becky and Trish would have been the better match than Ronda and Shayna, but it's WWE's decision. No, it is what it is, and we'll see the Becky and Trish match next week on Raw. So, yeah, that's just my opinion on it, and I don't know what you guys thought of it. Again, I would have put Becky and Trish in that spot instead, but that's just me. Speaking of women's matches, we had a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. It was the champion Asuka against Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. I thought it was pretty good. And it wasn't going to be a bad match. I think you knew that. All three of them are very talented. Charlotte Flair, the history there. Asuka, her history as well, just, one of the greats. And Bianca Belair, another very talented performer. She can wrestle any match with anybody. So, I'm not the biggest fan of triple threat matches, but this one was pretty good. Good back and forth action. Everybody got their stuff in. And then right in the middle of the match, Charlotte throws Bianca over the top, and she ended up hitting her knee on the steel ramp, the steel steps. And she was on the ground holding her knee. The medical staff gave her attention, bring her to the back. And then, one-on-one Charlotte Asuka. But then after a little while, Bianca did run back to the ring, and her and Charlotte went at it. And Charlotte put the figure eight on Bianca. Just as Bianca was about to tap out, Asuka blew mist right in Charlotte's face. And then Bianca got back up, set the comeback, hit Asuka with her move, and Bianca ended up winning the WWE Women's title. But that wasn't it, because Io Sky's music hit, and her and Bayley ran down to that ring. Bianca was still, shaken up by her knee, holding her knee, and you just knew it was going to happen. And it's funny because I predicted, I was in my head, I knew the cash-in would happen. You saw the pre-show. Now I did have Asuka winning, but I knew Io would cash in and win the title. As soon as Bianca came back into the ring after she refused to go into the back, I just had a feeling watching it, she's going to win it. And then Io would take advantage of it, cash in the Money in the Bank, and then win it. And that's what she did. She did her moonsault off the top rope, and she beat Bianca, and she is now the WWE Women's Champion. again, I enjoyed the match, and it was a good cash in. I think that's um, putting the belt on Io is good. I think she deserves a run at it. Um, hopefully, it's not she doesn't have it for like a month and then that's it. Um, I think she could be more than a transitional champion. I think she'll probably end up feuding with Asuka and then maybe feuding with Bailey down the line. You'll see a breakup of Damage Control. And for Bianca, I mean, she doesn't need it. She's been women's champion plenty of times. And I think her feud with Charlotte Flair is going to continue. I think that'll be a good feud. And I could see Bianca being aligned with her real life husband, Montez Ford of the Street Profits. Her and Angela Dawkins, Bobby Lashley have been kind of forming a team lately. So I can see her aligning herself with them and forming a group. I don't know if it'll be called the Hurt Business, the New Hurt Business, or something different, but that'd be cool, kind of cool to see. Kind of see a new faction on SmackDown. So I wouldn't be surprised if that turns out to be. For Charlotte, doesn't need the belt. She's done it all. But right now, this is, I think, her and Bianca. It'd be a pretty good feud. So I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I enjoyed the match. So, all right, let's see. Scott Taylor first. As always, thanks, Scott, for tuning in. I have to work on my timing. I had a kid. Okay. And he says, sorry, I have to talk to my agent in Hollywood. Okay. Earlier tonight, him and Sean Spencer have a new show called Are You Kidding Me? Well, I'm not kidding you. That is a show called Are You Kidding Me? And it's pretty interesting. Good for them. I'm glad they got their new show. Hopefully you guys can check it out on YouTube. It's on Sean Spencer's YouTube page, so check that out. Pretty good show, I thought. So yeah, anyway, took a scoop of water here. All right, so let's get on to the Intercontinental title match, Gunther and Drew McIntyre. This was a pretty hard-hitting match. Gunther ends up winning it. That's the right call, obviously. I didn't see Drew having a chance to win the Intercontinental title. I think it's good to keep the belt on Gunther. He's going on about 400 days, and I think within a few weeks he's going to pass the Honky Tonk Man for longest reign as Intercontinental Champion ever, and I could definitely see that. They had a battle royal or a four-way match tonight to determine Gunther's next opponent, and that was won by Chad Gable. So it'll be Gable and Gunther. I don't know if that'll be on a Raw or that'll be at the next Premium Live Event Payback, which, by the way, is September 2nd on Peacock. Saturday, September 2nd. So yeah, we'll see how that goes there. Yeah, but I expect Gunther to beat the Honky Tonk Man's streak for longest Intercontinental title reign. And again, as far as the match goes, it was okay. Not great, but still it was hard hitting. You just kind of knew Gunther would win the match. Kind of like Roman, you kind of know Roman's going to win. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I think you got to move on from this feud. Just like Shayna and Ronda, this Gunther and Drew McIntyre just really didn't do it for me. I don't know if it's just the chemistry, the lack of chemistry, or I just couldn't get behind it. But it was a solid match. Nothing special, but you knew Gunther was going to win, and he did. And now he'll feud with Chad Gable. So that should be an interesting program, and I'm kind of more interested in that than Gunther and Drew, to be honest. And maybe it's just because they didn't have enough time to build this story up, but I just wasn't interested in that program. So with that being said, let's get to the the WWE World Title match. That was champ Seth freaking Rollins. He went up against Finn Balor, and this has been a pretty good program. As you know, I like how they did the build up to it. They also had a video package where, ironically enough, SummerSlam 2016, where it's for the Universal title, and Finn Balor ended up winning it. But what had happened was that on a move, it was a running power bomb to the mat that's covering the guardrails. That Finn's shoulder ended up popped. He broke it, and he had to relinquish the title the next night on Raw. He was out for several months, and that's why you would see he wrote on his shoulder where he got injured 7. That was 7 years, is what he referenced to. And he did that same move on Seth during the match. So I liked how they played on that. And I thought this was one of the better matches of the night, and both guys are very good performers. They both have good chemistry, Seth and Finn. And whenever you have a personal rivalry, and especially this one, it goes really well. It's going to show in the match as well. And Judgment Day ended up coming out, obviously. Damian Priest, Dom, and Rhea. Damian Priest, put the briefcase in there. Little hesitation there by Finn, but ultimately he went to go get it, and Seth ended up doing the curb stomp on it, and he ended up winning the match 1, 2, 3, and Seth retains, I should say, the WWE World Championship. So, again, this was a really good match. I enjoyed both of them. I enjoy their work. Could this be the end of it? Probably, just because it's gone on for a while. It would have been nice to see Finn get a win here, but I get it. Seth is still very popular. He's still, a very good performer in the ring. I don't think they're going to take the title off him this soon. I think he's going to have a good run with it. And, and we'll get into Raw in a minute, but as far as Finn Balor goes, he'll probably feud ultimately with Damian Priest, and you'll start seeing a split with the Judgment Day. So, yeah, for both guys, it should be, the trajectory is just going to go up. But I think Finn will be out of the title picture at least for right now. So, yeah, and then hope I didn't leave any matches out. I don't think I did. Let's get to it. The main event, the Tribal Combat match for the WWE Universal title. Sean Spencer, thanks for tuning in, man. What's up, man? How you doing, Sean? Appreciate you tuning in. Let's get to the main event. It was Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion for 1,070 some odd days now. I forget the exact number. Going up against Jey Uso, his cousin. It's a tribal combat match. That means it's pretty much anything goes. It's like a no-holds-barred match. From a match standpoint, I know usually with Roman Reigns matches, they do start off a little slow, and I respect that. I think it's cool that they give it a slow pace and then build it up, speed it up a little bit as the match goes along. In this match, I thought it was just too slow for me. Now, I don't know if there may have been issues with the run-ins with like Solo, and maybe it was a timing thing. I noticed that when they were fighting in the by the crowd, by where the hard cam is, there's a little bit of standing around a little bit, so it could have been a timing thing. But ultimately, Solo snuck in there and knocked Jey down, put him through a table, and then dragged him. And then ultimately, Roman Reigns brought him back in the ring. Couldn't get the 3 count there, and then Roman ended up accidentally spearing Solo, and Jay came back, made the comeback. But ultimately, and then Jay knocked Solo out, put him through a table, and then brought Roman in, did the spear, and did his splash off the top rope. And you thought, oh, okay, well, hey, maybe he'll finally do it. Maybe he'll be the guy. Nope. As the ref was about to hit the 3 count on the mat, Jay gets pulled out from underneath. The guy with the hoodie pulled him out of there, and it ended up being his brother Jimmy Uso. And then Jimmy Uso super kicked Jay Uso. Roman sat there shocked. And then Jimmy walked away, and then Roman took advantage, took the pin, or speared him through a table, and got the 1, 2, 3. And once again, that cheating Roman Reigns survives and keeps the WWE Universal title. He is still your WWE Universal Champion. And it was because Jimmy Uso cost his brother Jay Uso the match, turned on him. And Sean Spencer, if you're watching, I predicted when you're on my show Saturday that Jimmy Uso would turn his back on Jay and cheat him out of the title. I had a feeling it would happen, and that's what it did. I'm okay with this. I actually kind of like this because, now it's kind of a Cain and Abel kind of rivalry, brother versus brother. And, I think the story's been good enough to where you can start pitting the brothers against each other. Jimmy being jealous of Jay and getting all that success. And, it's not so much that he wants to acknowledge Roman Reigns. It's more jealousy of his younger brothers. So I like where that's going. On SmackDown this Friday, Roman Reigns will be there and Jimmy Uso will be there, and then we'll see what happens. So the rivalry continues. And I think eventually Solo is going to turn on Roman. We'll see. For Roman Reigns, I mean, he'll probably take another break. And we'll see where he goes there. From what I've read in reports in the dirt sheets, Roman's probably going to take some time off again. He's having a lighter schedule these days. So, yeah, again, I think Roman will eventually drop the title at Mania. And so it'll be about another 7-8 months. Question is, who does he go against? How do you keep his momentum going? I do like that he's not used every week. He is an attraction. So and they're using him the right way. Good on WWE. And again, I think it's going to be Roman and Cody at WrestleMania next year. So question's going to be, how do you keep those guys hot? We'll see what happens. But overall, SummerSlam was a pretty solid show. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Thought there were some very good moments there, but then there are a couple matches where it's like, but hey, 7.5 out of 10. That's my rating for it. So that being said, let's go on to the first, I do want to say we got some breaking news tonight. When the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, one half of those is Sonya Deville. She had a injury that was reported today. It was a torn ACL. Yeah, very unfortunate. Man, it's like, I don't believe in curses, but with this WWE Women's Tag Team title, I mean, it's kind of hard to deny it. Look, Liv Morgan suffers a shoulder injury. We had injuries to when Aaliyah was teaming with Raquel Rodriguez. She had an injury. So they had to relinquish the tag titles. Ronda and Shayna only held him for like a month. I don't know. It's just just so many injuries. When these women have had the tag team titles, and I just now Sonya's out, so I'm not sure what they're going to do with them. I'm sure they're probably going to relinquish the belts again, or maybe Chelsea Green will find another tag team partner. I don't know, but that's disappointing. It's too bad for Sonya. She was having a nice little run with Chelsea Green as the tag team champions. I think they would have held those belts for a while. I've been hearing reports WWE is very high on both Sonya and Chelsea as a tag team. So that's why they put the tag titles on them, and they were supposed to have a good run with it, but unfortunately, injuries get in the way, and that's too bad. Sonya, very talented. I've always liked her work. This is just a tough setback for her. Hopefully, she recovers quickly and gets back in there in no time. But they're saying it's a torn ACL, so it's usually about a 6 to 8 month recovery time, just depending on the person. So good vibes out to Sonya. Hopefully, she can get back there sooner than later. So that being said, what is good segue here? What's next for everyone after SummerSlam? Watching Raw tonight, some from what I've seen, obviously they opened up with Cody Rhodes coming to the ring, and then all of a sudden Seth freaking Rollins comes out. So that may be the match, the next feud, I should say. I get it. You want Cody to have a strong opponent, but I just felt like they've just gotten done with this. I know it's been over a year, but it just seems like hasn't been a while yet. I think it's too soon, but it is what it is. And the question will be, will Cody win the world title? I don't know. I don't think you have Cody win the world title, because the goal, I think, obviously, is to win the WWE Universal title, which Roman Reigns has. So I could see a one-off here with Seth, and then somebody cost Cody the title, and then he feuds with them or whatnot. But it'll be interesting to see where they go with this. I think it's too soon, but at the same time, there's not really anybody. There might not be anybody else that Cody can feud with. Maybe Finn Balor. That could work, maybe, but I'm not sure. I think he's got his own thing going with Damian Priest. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go there. We just talked about Sonya with her injury. What do you do with the women's tag titles? I don't know. There's really not a team I could think of that you can go with. I mean, Liv and Raquel. Liv Morgan's hurt, so she's out for a while. I don't know. I don't know where they go. They can go any direction, but we'll see what happens there. Talking about LA Knight, he was on Raw tonight, so it looks like him and the Miz are going to feud. Now LA Knight's a SmackDown guy, and Miz is a Raw guy, so I think this could work. Maybe for a one-off. I don't see Miz and LA Knight being a long-term feud. But I do think LA Knight's going to go over in that feud and then just keep climbing up. I would like to see LA Knight maybe, have a feud with Austin Theory, for the U.S. title. Maybe get a title win, hold the U.S. title for a little bit, and then down the line compete for either the Universal title or the World Heavyweight titles. So, assuming that his momentum stays hot, LA Knight could be in the main event sooner or later. So it should be interesting to see there. It's an interesting time right now. Roman's going to be taking time off. Brock's going to be taking time off. I don't know when you're going to see Logan Paul again. He won't be gone for too long, but it's going to be interesting to see what feuds are going to happen. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know where you go from here with the what wrestlers you put with, to have feuds. But it should be interesting the next few weeks because Payback, as I mentioned earlier, WWE, is Saturday, September 2nd. Interesting timing there because that is the same day that we have college football opening up. So I probably will watch it after football is over. You can watch it on Peacock anytime. So I'll probably watch it after that, but it should be an interesting show. I want to see how they build it up, see what they do with it. So, yeah. What do we got here? Sean says, you called the outcome of the tribal combat match. Yeah, Sean, I just had a feeling. I just had a feeling that they were going to add this layer to it, that Jimmy would turn on Jay, Roman would somehow keep the title like he always does. I just feel like you add a new layer to this bloodline storyline. You keep it going. So, and I'm fine with it because it is at least something different. And I do like the aspects of a brother versus brother type of feud, a Cain and Abel type of feud, like I like to call it. I think it has potential. So we'll see how it goes. But I think outside of that, and maybe Seth and Cody, I just don't know what the direction is going to be for everybody after SummerSlam. Now, next week, Trish and Becky are going to go one-on-one. I expect Becky to win. I think it's going to come down to Becky and Rhea. They got a feud, and Rhea needs an opponent. She's been women's champion for several months now, and you've not really seen her wrestle, defend the title because she's been with Dominic, and and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's a good pairing, and it's worked. They've been a very good couple. On TV, they've been on Raw, made appearances on SmackDown. Now they go to NXT. So, at least Rhea's doing something, but you would like to see her defend that women's title. It'd be nice to see. And she hasn't done that. I assume her next opponent's probably going to be Becky Lynch. And that'll be the big feud on Raw. And I'm looking forward to that one. I think it'll be very good. Both are very strong characters. And they're both very good wrestlers, so I expect a very good feud, especially with the back and forth trash talking. It should be pretty good. I can't wait to see it. So, yeah. I don't know. What else do we want to talk about? Let's do some AEW real quick. Just read today that according to Dave Meltzer, Wrestling Observer, take it for what it's worth, but AEW surpassed the WrestleMania attendance as far as ticket sales go. It's in the over 80,000 range. If those numbers are true, then good for AEW. But as far as AEW right now, it's been okay. Collision's been better show than Dynamite. I was able to watch Collision Sunday because SummerSlam was Saturday, so I recorded Collision. Punk and Starks had a good match. CM Punk ended up retaining his world title, beating Ricky Starks. Ricky Dragon Steamboat was the special enforcer. And after the match, Ricky Starks attacked Ricky Dragon Steamboat, which prompted Punk to come back out, and couldn't get his hands on Ricky Starks. So it looks like Ricky Starks has turned heel. I think that's good. I like a heel Ricky Starks. I think he's I've seen him since his days in the NWA. The show Billy Corgan had on YouTube back in the late 2010s. Um, and ironically enough, LA Knight was on there on that NWA as well. He was Eli Drake then. I'm like, this Ricky Starks is a pretty good character. I like his promo skills are really good. He's got a great personality. So they're very high on him. Obviously, they're putting him in the main event spot on Collision. So yeah, I think his trajectory is just going to keep going up, and I do think he's better as a heel. So he'll have some good opponents on Collision. They'll probably continue the feud with CM Punk, and also announced for All in London. FTR is going to go up again. They've challenged the Young Bucks. So that should be an interesting show, interesting match. Samoa Joe on Collision said that he wants to fight CM Punk at All In too. So we'll see if CM Punk accepts it. And then you have MJF going up against Adam Cole for the AEW World Title. That should be an interesting match as well. So you got 3 matches. You're finally starting to see some matches come up for the All In pay-per-view. Again, it'll be interesting to see how that show goes, especially when you doing it in Wembley Stadium with over 80,000 fans. I expect it to be a very good show, so I will watch it. And yeah, we'll see what happens there with AEW. Well, with that being said, there's really not much more to talk about this week, but I want to thank everybody for watching this tonight. Again, I apologize for being a little late there. I was just watching the segment with LA Knight. I thought it was pretty good. Him and The Miz. So, yeah, I think we're going to call this one a night. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. And as you know, and as I always say here on this show and any show that I do, please like and share this. You can catch my social media handles are up above me right there on Twitter or X at BennyBoys702. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it's my YouTube channel is Ben Cornett 9015, as well as my Ben Zone Facebook group. They're on Facebook. If you're not on the Facebook fan group, I do post this show also on my personal page, so you can watch it there as well. So, with that being said, I'm losing my voice a little bit, but I'm going to call this one a night. Once again, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. And we will be back at it next time here on Face to Heels. And also a reminder, I kind of do want to do another Face to Heels watch along episode. I'll probably do one in the next couple weeks. I'll come up with a show or a match to watch, and yeah, I'll give you all the details on that. So stay tuned for that. And my other show, Let's Buck with Ben, I'm going to try and do one this week, if I can find the time to. And you also can catch me on the NFL edition every Thursday nights with Johnny Dean, Alex Loosemore, and Have At It every Friday nights, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. And that's about it for all the shows I'm doing. So everybody, like, subscribe, and share all the stuff that I do. And we will see you next time right here on Face to Heels. Have a good night, everybody.